Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? Welcome to the Big Boss Man Roundtable. I am joined by the Big Boss Man himself, which at 1914. Hey, what's good, boss?
Man, what's going on, man? We had to pull it up during the week, man. It's the new year, so try to get this thing cracking a little bit more often.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I have a question for you. How do you feel about the OG Anunoby trade?
Whew. This is all I'm gonna say about that trade. For years, and when I say years, I'm speaking the last 3 to 4 years. It's been said that the problem with our team was Julius Randle, right, and his ball stopping, and his ball hogging, and his turnovers.
Okay.
When there has also been a contingent of people saying that the problem is not necessarily Julius Randle, is his fit next to RJ Barrett, right?
Hey, right.
So,
Right.
so now I get it. The sample size is small, extremely small. We've only seen it for 2 games, but it's not lost on me that Jalen Brunson is averaging 13 and a half assists.
Mm,
Think about that.
interesting.
What was his weakness? His entire career was we questioned his playmaking. Can he be an on-ball playmaker? Can he be a difference maker?
Right.
Take RJ, slide in OG, who's a definite floor spacer who gives Randall and Brunson room to drive all game and a reliable kick. Because if you watch either the Timberwolves game and the Bulls game, those defenders had to stay attached to OG. They couldn't leave him.
Right.
So they couldn't crash down when Brunson and Randall drove. And
Right.
the floor is wide open right now. So I think that the trade, to me, it puts the Knicks in a position where on any given night they can beat anybody. Because now that you have Dante shooting like a top 5 shooter in the league, OG is a proven sniper, especially in
Right.
the corner. Who you gonna trap? Who you gonna double? I mean, what can you do?
What can you do?
And if you go to a zone, they gonna shoot you apart of that. And it's not to say that RJ was the only problem, but if you look at the fit that we got now, it's allowing Randall and Brunson to straight up cook.
Right.
And this is where OG doesn't even know what he's doing yet. OG told Brunson during the first game, "Hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna keep cutting."
Right.
And they found him 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And he didn't do any finger rolls, any soft stuff at the rim. Dude went up 2 hands, stuffed it.
Right.
So I think that this guy has potential to be way more than we saw in Toronto. And then sometimes when you watch him play, man, if you squint like this, you like, man, that dude looked like a younger Kawhi, man.
Yeah.
Because the Anthony Edwards is one of my favorite players in the league.
Oh boy.
OG took him out of the game.
Right.
DeMar DeRozan was cooking last night when OG went to the bench. He came
Right.
back in, took him out of the game.
Out of the
Tyrese
game.
Maxey on Friday, OG is going to take him out of the game.
Right.
So, he may not give you 25 points a game, but he's holding dudes to, 5 to 10 points under their average. That's a problem.
That,
That-
my
that- that-
friend, is a
that's a
problem.
problem. Dudes are shooting 10 to 15% below their percentage when he's checking them. That's a
Right.
problem. So when you
Right.
have 2 guys that can handle the volume like Brunson and Randall can, it pays off. But to me, it just shows that when that floor is open, I mean, Brunson, I'll say it again, in these last 2 games, he has 27 assists.
Yeah.
And you
That
know what else?
is
They only averaging 114 points per game. They average 115 on the season. So that
right.
means they're getting better shots.
Right.
They're hitting at a higher clip.
Right.
Think about that. This is
Right.
Jalen Brunson, Mr. Average 5 assists per game. In these last
Right.
2 games, bro, 27 assists.
That's a lot, bro. That's a lot.
Think about that. Like if you look at the numbers, and I think Randle's average these last 2 games is like 37, 7.5, and 3.
30. Yep. Yep.
I mean, come on, bro. We only removed 2 guys from the rotation, and we added 1 guy, and Randle averaging 37, 7, and 3, and Bronson averaging 23 and 13.5.
Right.
Not that those numbers are sustainable, but even if 85% of it is sustainable, like that means the team has hit an entirely different, not level, but echelon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I went and looked at it, and Randle I think he's, in the last 2 games, he's averaging like 18, 19 points in the paint.
That's a lot compared to especially since the beginning of the season. You remember the slow start?
Yeah, I remember the slow start. He's jacking up, 5 or 6 3-pointers a game. Like, Julius Randle, I compare him to a Jimmy Butler because it's one of those situations where you watch him during his career, and then you see him as a 22-year-old kid, like, damn, this dude got some raw talent. And then you see him as a 25-year-old kid, like, dang, this guy he could be an all-star one day. And then when he hits 27, it's like, damn, he is an all-star. Then 28, 29, oh man, this dude, he's all NBA. And then you think that you've seen the best of them, and they get better. Like Jimmy Butler at 31 is better than Jimmy Butler was at 25. Jimmy Butler at 32 is better than Jimmy Butler was at 28. You have those true late bloomers, and I think he's a true late bloomer, but not to be long-winded, but I think that the trade, it worked out, at least right now, better than I could imagine.
Wow.
Because, I mean, Isaiah Hartenstein, he deserves some credit too. But I got to give most of the credit to OG because before he got here, we giving up 130, 140. Like, it was nothing.
Right.
Teams came, the Pacers they dropped 140, and it was nothing. So this guy is, to me, I already view him as a star because of what he brought to the table. And this team was floating around the middle of the league in pretty much every defensive metric. If we finished the year top 5 in defense, this dude deserves to get consideration for Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
Because our defense was raggedy. It was before he got here, bro. It was raggedy.
Right.
Raggedy. Think about that. The Pacers scored 140 on us.
Right.
The Knicks.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, I think the trade was a plus. I think we're good enough to where we can compete with anybody in the East. But if we get that one missing piece, which to me, I would focus on being an on-ball creator, whether that's creating his own shot or creating a shot for his teammates. If we get that, we ready to take on the league.
Can I disagree with you a little bit?
Go ahead.
So I'm going to disagree with you a little bit in that I think, and I hate to kick RJ Barrett in the back on the way out the door, right? But I think us cutting Anchor helps the team, right? Like and the reason why I say that, and I know it sounds like I'm doing RJ dirty, I'm not. Right? I think if we had a league average small forward, I think you'll see these results, right? Now, with that said, what I'm getting at is I think you hadn't seen the best of what an OG Anunoby can do for us yet, right? And I know that sounds like I'm dismissing OG Anunoby, and I'm not, right? I think OG Anunoby is you know how as a parent you give your kids a meal to tide them over until you can give them something better, something more wholesome. I think that's what OG Anunoby is doing for us right now.
Yeah, and I mean, admittedly,
Right.
he doesn't even know what he's doing yet. You know what I mean?
Right. That's the point that I'm getting at. The point that I'm getting at is we hadn't even seen the best of OG Anunoby, kind of like what you just mentioned, where OG Anunoby is just going out there playing basketball off instinct right now.
Yeah.
And so we don't even know what OG Anunoby can be for us yet. Right. And so while it appears on the surface that OG Anunoby is the cure all, what I'm saying is the best is yet to come with OG Anunoby. Right. And I'm just saying, and basically what I'm getting at is just removing RJ makes us better. Right now, OG Anunoby is performing at a average small forward rate for us offensively.
Offensively, yeah,
Offensively, right?
Yeah.
Now, when he kicks it into gear, I think this team is going to go to another level. When OG Anunoby becomes a Knick and not a former Raptor, if that makes sense. When OG Anunoby is a Knick and not, the guy we traded for, I think the sky's the limit for him and this team.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. Like, I think that there is another level for him, especially offensively, because now he's not saucy, right? But his handle, if you go back and look at when he first came into the league, him and Frank Ntilikina was doppelgangers as far as handling the basketball. Right. But his handle has gotten tighter, it's gotten much better, he's gotten much more decisive. And the thing is, kind of like Randle, he can play over you too, because he plays above the rim, but he can play through you.
Remember this too, though. OG Anunoby coming out of high school. OG Anunoby coming out of high school was an elite athlete.
Yeah.
Not LeBron James, right? But definitely more athletic than Scotty Barnes. And I know that sounds incredible, right? But remember, he tore his ACL in college.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right. And so that put his development back some entering the league, right? Because you can't just work on your basketball skills and rehab from an injury. You got to rehab from the injury, right? That your coming out year, right? And then you have to work on your basketball skills. You're behind the curve. So when you look at a 26-year-old OG Anunoby, what we should be really looking at is a 24-year-old OG Anunoby in terms of development, because he's put back, right? And then plus he went to Indiana and what's the black coach that Indiana had?
I know Sampson got fired from there. I think OG came after Sampson was fired. Who did they have? Was it Mike Davis?
Mike Davis, that's his name.
I think that was because Mike Davis was at UAB. Then he went back to Indiana. I'm almost certain it was Mike Davis at that point. Yeah, because Sampson got fired. They fired him. Yeah. So
and the reason why I bring that up is that if you remember the bigs from Indiana during that time, I'll name two of them. Right, I'll name two athletes from Indiana: OG Anunoby, Noah Vonleh.
I remember that.
Because right, and you remember how raw everybody was. Remember how raw everybody was coming out of that program, right?
They had a bunch of athletes.
Yeah. So what I'm saying to everybody is, don't look at OG Anunoby as a finished product. He's not. I don't think OG's a finished product. I think with a skills trainer and with the opportunity to work on certain things. And my personal thing is OG Anunoby is a guy that could be 25-5, right? And that's the reason why Masai Ujiri drafted him, because he fits the Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Kawhi Leonard, that type of big, strong, powerful, agile athlete that is, if their skills come along, you can turn them into Giannis. Now, I'm not saying OG is going to be Giannis. I'm talking about the Giannis template, because nobody is going to be 7 foot, 250, super strength, super agile, and all of that. No, guys generally just don't come along and be that. Right?
Yeah, Giannis turned out to be a generational player, bro. Like,
yeah.
It's just what he does, man. Like he's in that Shaquille O'Neal mode. Like a dude that tall ain't supposed to be that athletic. So
right,
yeah, he's rare. He's rare. I will say this about OG. I think that what had me the most excited, I always wanted this dude on the Knicks, was when I went and I read what Kawhi has said. OG has the work ethic to be special.
Right.
And that when you work as hard as he does, there's no way you're not going to be successful in the league.
Right.
And the reason that was big to me, because Kawhi don't give nobody props.
He don't even talk, bro.
He don't even talk.
Right.
But the fact that he took his time to mention that, hey, this dude got the work ethic to be very good. That meant something, because I'm like, dang. Because, he was there. Now, he got hurt late in the season, but he was there when they won the championship, and he was a part of that team. So he's been around a championship team. He's been around a room full of guys that, got the option A, option B, option C. You got to get yours. But I think I speak for probably 99% of Knicks fans when I say this about OG. Because let's look at the facts. You shoot 70% at the rim. You shoot basically 38% from three. On pull-up twos, you shoot 51%.
Right.
That shows you have signs of a full bag.
And that's without a natural point guard.
Yeah, that's without a point guard. I said it again.
A natural point guard without a because Kyle Lowry was there, but he's not a facilitator. He played with Fred VanVleet, who's more of a shooter. If Fred VanVleet was 6'8", he'd probably be a small forward. What I'm saying? To be honest with you, right? And then part of your livelihood is Scotty Barnes playing point,
right?
Yeah.
And then Dennis Schroeder, like that, like people talk about our team. That Raptors team was a straight up me first team. I said again. Basically, 38% from three, 51% on pull-up twos, and 70% at the rim.
Right.
What that says is the requisite skills are there to be an elite offensive player.
Okay.
Because he's not just shooting floaters at the rim. He's dunking and finishing strong. That shows that he has requisite skills to be a complete offensive player. But I think I speak for 95% of Knicks fans when it comes to OG. We will never question his skills or his talents. The thing we have a question about is his will. Because as the Knicks are constructed right now, it's a ton of shot attempts available.
Right.
Just being honest. It's a ton of volume available for him to step up and be that offensive star that he's shown the traces that he can be. The only question is, will he do that? Is he satisfied with being a dude that, I'm going to lock up the best player? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make the all-defensive team. I'm going to give you that 15. But he has potential to be so much more than that.
Are you paying him based on his potential?
Say it again.
Or if you're the Knicks, are you going to pay him based on his potential?
I think you at this point they're in a situation where they have to, because people got mad at me yesterday.
Wait a minute, is that a Arkansas sweater you got on?
Yes.
Oh my god! Oh, let me drink out of my Gamecock cup.
Nah, here we go with that.
Bro, you sure you don't want a Gamecock cup, bro?
Nah, I'm good, man.
You sure you don't want something? You sure you don't want the garnet and black, bro? I can say
I'm good. They gonna get it right eventually, man. They're
Yeah,
gonna get it
and
right.
all we need is 200 more years, bro.
Man, I'm thinking about 3 to 5 years. They'll figure it out.
Well, figuring it out and executing are two different things.
Hey, they can't be cheap, man. Gotta be willing to pay to win the championship, but so far they ain't really been willing to do that. But I mean, what was I saying?
So I distracted you, right? So the thing is, what I'm asking you is, are you going this summer? Are you going to pay OG Anunoby based on his potential, like you did RJ, or are you going to pay him based on his past performance?
I'm gonna say this. I'm going to pay him based on his impact, right? Because
impact on what?
On his impact on the team in general. Because
and for 50 games, well, hopefully we'll win a championship. So we'll say you want to pay him for 60.
We're still playing in April and May.
So for you want to pay him for seeing him as a Knick for 70 games.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. Here's the problem, right? I was listening to a podcast that Philadelphia fans had did. It's like there was some Philadelphia podcasts.
Was it Eat Sleep Sixers?
I think so.
They be wilding, bro.
I think so. And they said, not only did they want OG, they felt like we underpaid. They felt like we underpaid for him. And they were saying that Philadelphia was fully ready to offer a deal in the summer worth about $40 million. So here's the thing. I said this and people got triggered. I'm not saying I want this to happen. I'm not saying this is even likely to happen. But OG Anunoby not being re-signed by the Knicks is fireable. It's a fireable offense. Mm-hmm. You have teams out there, like Philadelphia, that will legitimately pay major money to get this dude. Major money.
I don't think so, bro.
So, I mean, people can say what they want to say about him giving the Knicks a discount and stuff like that. I hope he does, bro. I hope we get a discount. But it's gonna be a competitive market for him. But at the same time, Leon, his son is the dude's agent. Yeah. So I'm not trying to accuse CAA of doing anything underhanded financially to make sure the dude is satisfied, but
they do stuff underhanded, bro.
They have no choice.
Right.
They don't have a choice. Now, the best case scenario, and this is just me, and I do think it's a possibility, would be if he were to opt into that $19 million.
Okay. Push
his payday back 1 year, and then allow the Knicks to really go big game hunting.
Yeah.
This summer.
And then do like Josh Hart, and then
exactly,
and then give him the bag, bro, like $47 million, something crazy.
Exactly. We're gonna pay you. We just need you to hold on for 1 year. Opt into the $19 million. We'll extend you right in October.
Yeah.
We'll give you $250 right in October. Sign for the night to push it back 1 year, which I mean financially, it's not bad. You getting your money. NBA contracts are guaranteed. You're just pushing it back 1 year.
Right.
So I think that's kind of what's been hinted at. But OG's like, I'll accept the pay cut to come to New York. So what that allows you to do is that allows you to bring in a higher level of player. So instead of looking at somebody that may make 30, you can create flexibility to bring somebody in that's making 40.
But that's why so that's why I kind of disagree with you. My thing is, as soon as you said bring somebody in, I'm already you lost me. I don't think the Knicks are good at this front office is good at bringing somebody in. I think they got to trade for somebody that's already under contract and hope they like New York, like Donovan Mitchell. Right? I think you gotta because and I know people are saying, man, just Donovan Mitchell will be a free agent. Just wait. Nah, bro, you're not gonna sign a 29-year-old shooting guard to a 5-year deal. You know what I'm saying? That makes zero economic sense in this landscape, especially with all these draft picks. You could have taken 10 shots at drafting a Donovan Mitchell by the time Donovan Mitchell get here. You know what I'm saying? And I like Donovan Mitchell, by the way.
Here's the thing, too. I don't think they are built to bring in a star free agent, but I do think if the cap is more amendable, like for example, if he opts in, you have an opportunity to keep a Hartenstein. Hartenstein about to get a bag.
Yeah,
he about to get a bag because when he first jumped into the starting lineup, he was that energy guy. Oh man, I gotta bring the energy. No, bro, you can't pick up 2 quick fouls. Sometimes you gotta let it go. We need you, and he settled into that. Now here he is, 10 points and 20 rebounds. So
that's not gonna be typical though. I think that's atypical.
But his whole career, I'm happy this is happening because his whole career, the dude has been an analytics darling. Right. Analytics have said about this dude his whole career that given opportunity, he can not just be good, but great. Now we get to see.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't matter what the advanced metric is. If you look at Isaiah Hartenstein, they're going to say, this guy has the potential to be a great big. And he's still really young. He's only like 24, 25.
Can I tell you what I would do?
What's that?
Resign him, trade Mitch straight up to New Orleans for Trey Murphy. You cannot be, bro. You can't, bro. Trey Murphy, OG Anunoby, perimeter defense. It's lockdown.
I'm glad you brought that up, man, because that's a conversation that has to take place. And
I love you, Mitch. Mitch, I love you, Mitch.
We love you, bro. I know for a fact that Mitch watches the Blorange Tears network. I know for a fact. Mitch, bro, we love you.
We love you. Yeah.
But I think that if you're a front office, man, anytime a 7-footer has those lower leg injuries, bro, like, and we're not talking about just once or twice. We're talking about like every year. It's a sprained ankle. Like it's something in the lower extremities, bro. It would be hard as a front office executive to say, okay, my 5 spot is locked up for the next 3 years because I know I got Mitch there. Because you just don't know. Because 21 games into the season, and he's out for the whole year.
But it's not his fault though, bro.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. Like he hasn't had any bonehead injuries. It's just been like really, like how does that even happen? Type any injuries, but they're happening. So you have to ask yourself, if we try to go on a championship run, and I'm paying you that 15 mil, and his contract descends if I remember correctly, which is outstanding. I'm paying you to fill that void. I can't pay another center 15 and be allocating almost 30 million to the center spot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the injuries have to be the problem.
The thing is though, defensive centers always get hurt. Right? Yeah. We can't look at Rudy Gobert as the standard, bro. Like for every Rudy Gobert, there's a Marcus Camby, right? Always dinged up, always hurt. It's borderline calling that man soft, but you ask him. But then the offensive centers that we call soft, they rarely get hurt.
Yeah, they always like Kelly Olynyk. That dude play every year. He play every year,
bro. I mean, yeah.
The bonus is there every year.
Yeah.
Like I mean, but that's with any 7-footer that plays with a vertical game, up, down, up, down, up, down. Like it's a danger. You saw it with Porzingis, man. Like ever since KP kind of calmed down on the verticality, the highlight dunks and stuff like that, he's been relatively healthy. But it would hurt to lose Mitch. You would really love to see what kind of floor game we would have if he was out there with OG, especially on defense.
Right.
But the injuries have to be taken into account because this is going to be the 3rd time in 4 years we've made the playoffs. Mitch has missed the playoffs twice.
Yeah. It's not his fault though, bro.
It's not. But that's just the reality of it. If you're in the offseason and you're reviewing the roster, you're like, man, like, okay, I'm paying this amount here, this amount there. this amount here, this amount there. I need this.
Right.
And I'm gonna be honest, this is no disrespect to Mitch, but
Right.
if you look at the college game, there are some young centers out there that can provide you with some rim protection and solid defense. So,
yep.
Now the offensive rebounding, I mean, you're not gonna replace that with one dude. But the conversation has to be had that if Isaiah Hartenstein plays well like he's playing right now, with consistency, when you get to the end of the year and he needs to be paid, like you said, can you flip Mitch for
Trey Murphy?
A Trey Murphy type?
Bro, if we get Mitch for Trey Murphy would be a win for both teams.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it'd be a win. It'd be a win for both teams, man. You talking about
But I mean,
that trade pushes them over the top, bro. Another athlete to go with Zion and Herb Jones and all, and bro, they would be, yeah. And the sad thing about it is you know, the more I think about it, the more I like it for Mitch, because I think Mitch can go somewhere where they'll value what he brings on offense.
New Orleans is home, man.
Oh yeah, and I forgot about that. Yeah,
that's home.
So, yeah, and that too. I didn't think about that first, but yeah, that too.
Yeah, I mean, look. Again, Mitch, we love you, bro.
Right.
It's nothing personal, but Mitch understands it's a business. He just saw his boys get traded to outside the continental United States of America.
They just like RJ so but they traded him out of the country.
They traded the boys out of the United States, man. Now RJ calls me quickly, but that's another conversation.
That's
traded him out of the U.S. So Mitch understands it's a business, but
yeah,
if an opportunity came where we had to include Mitch in the trade to get a piece that we needed, I would not be opposed to it. But that would be contingent upon the factor that we get a replacement that is serviceable to play that 5 spot. So a couple of quick scenarios.
Let me ask, because I got you. Let me help set this up. So with the development of OG Anunoby, right? With the emergence of both Julius Randle on this MVP level play for the last 3 weeks, let's say 7 weeks or so, with Jalen Brunson morphing into a scorer bro, if Jalen Brunson is going to get us 30 and 12 every night, he's the MVP.
Listen, the Knicks have 2 guys that have looked like MVP candidates in these last 2 games, bro.
30 and 12? 30 and 12, bro? Or 30 and what do you have? 30 and 13 last night?
13 and a half. He got 27 assists in the last 2 games.
27 and a half assists.
And Randle averaging 37 and 7. Like
right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying this is sustainable. Personally, the way I'm looking at the roster, it's having an actual small forward, a modernized, dependable small forward makes the roster make much more sense, because now you don't have Josh Hart having to play the 4.
Right.
I noticed that when Till pulls Randle out, he'll put OG in at the 4.
Yeah. Or not Pascal Siakam, I'm sorry. Or Precious Achiuwa
in at the 4. So now Josh Hart, his volume is not higher. His volumetric stats aren't going up necessarily, but he's much more comfortable because he's back to being that 2-3 instead of being that 3-4. So I know he's happy right now. You know what I'm saying? I think that the roster makes way more sense, but I do feel like we do need another shot creator. I do feel like that. I'm gonna be honest. if we're talking about a move that will not drain your asset, very low risk, very low risk, because the production is almost a guarantee. And it's a high reward because if he just is who he is during the playoffs, I think the only team that I would look at and say, I don't know, it would be the Celtics. And that's if you go ahead and use 28 contract, and then you connect like a Ryan Archidiakono to it to make the math work. That's if you go get a DeMar DeRozan, right? Now, the debate that was had this morning was, oh, well, if you put DeMar out there, it's going to hurt the spacing. And Dante is shooting elite catch and shoot numbers from three. He's top 5 in the league. I get it. But when my comeback and my counter to that was, what you have to understand.
Wait, are you assuming DeMar DeRozan is a shooting guard?
Yes. Why not?
Okay.
I mean, I don't see why not.
I think so. I think those days are totally. But I think he's. I think he's 5 years beyond being a
yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the survey of the East, and I'm looking at who the two guards are in the Eastern Conference, and I think he can run with those boys. My counter to that was, can DeMar create his own shot? Yes.
Right.
Does DeMar provide spacing past the 3-point line? No. Does he provide gravity?
He hit 3 threes last night, though.
Yeah, listen, last night was his audition. The one thing that we know about this.
It was an ABC game last night. That's right.
Television, and he's playing against the team that he wants to go to. So it was an audition.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we know this regime pays close attention to how dudes perform in the garden. Whether they playing for the Knicks or against the Knicks, they pay close attention to that. But my thing about DeMar is he has gravity. Wherever he goes on the court, the defense has to keep an eye on him. You got to keep somebody attached to him. And in terms of the spacing, you still got OG. And when he does not have the ball, Brunson is an elite floor spacer.
Okay.
So my thing is, when it comes to spacing, I don't understand what the issue would be, because you still got two guys in Brunson and OG that can consistently knock down the three. DeMar really changed his game in San Antonio when Pop, taught him how to basically be a point guard.
Yeah.
So in terms of low risk, high reward, I think he would be a big pickup because, when you're talking about playoff production, automatically he can give you 20 PPGs automatically in the playoffs.
Why don't you just do Grimes and Fournier for Buddy Hield?
See, I don't know how consistent Buddy is at this point. The Sacramento, now the New Orleans Buddy was a god. The Sacramento Buddy was pretty good, but I got to go back and look at him, man, because it seems like he's kind of in and out of the lineup, and we all know Rick Carlisle got, he kind of helped the skelter when it comes to his roster. But I mean,
it's not even about Buddy Hield. It's trying to send a message to Ben Mathurin to play defense.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. So I think that would be a low risk, high reward move. DeMar and OG played together for years. They got chemistry. They won a ton of games together. So the chemistry is there.
And they also couldn't get over the hump, though.
Yeah, they couldn't get over the hump. They couldn't get past King James.
Over the LeBron hump, by the way.
Yeah, they could get past him. They won 60 games, bro, and still couldn't get past him. That got Dwayne Casey fired. Imagine that.
Yeah.
But, I think if you're talking about low risk moves, a guy that wants to be in New York, a guy that can produce, a guy that can help relieve some of the on-ball duties for Jalen, a guy that shoots damn near 50% in the fourth quarter.
Right.
That's one move, right? Because it's not going to cause you to empty your treasure chest. So if you get to the off season and you want to make a big move, you still got the ammunition to do it. Now, I'm gonna give you two names, right? The first name I'm gonna give you is somebody that you're probably gonna say, now why would they trade him? But if you're gonna go all in for a player, this player fits a similar mold to a Donovan Mitchell, and that's Anfernee Simons.
Oh boy.
Of the Portland Trailblazers.
Oh boy. Now you talk about my heartstring.
Of an on-ball shot creator. He can create for himself, create for teammates. He's becoming a reliable shooter, and he can take all the pressure off of Jalen Brunson on those nights where Jalen may or may not have it coming.
Okay.
So you would ask, why the hell would Portland trade him? You know, Scoot Henderson ain't starting off too high. So the reason you would trade him is because the Knicks have the draft picks,
right,
to make them say, we can't turn this down.
I like it.
We just can't turn this down. And you're looking at a kid that's like 24. I think if you look at his stats, he's probably averaging like 25 PPGs.
He like a bucket, 25. Bro. He is the epitome of what a bucket is.
Yeah, he's a
and he's the guy that can participate in the 3-point contest and the dunk contest in the same weekend.
Yep. And the reality is, bro, people are gonna say, why the hell would they trade him? If I'm calling you and I'm offering you, look, man, I got 2 unprotected, 3 protected, I got Quentin Grimes, I got salary filler. If you want another pick down the line, you want the 2029 unprotected, I give you that too. Because to me, the reason he's not used as a superstar is simply, to me, it's just me, is because of the visibility.
He's in Portland. Yep, that's it.
If he was doing what he was doing, even in Oklahoma City, they'd be like, damn.
You know who he reminds me of? It's gonna make you laugh, but you're an old fart, so you'll appreciate this when I say it, right? Just like myself, right? You remember Hollywood Robinson?
Oh God,
from Alabama. You remember the Alabama team that had Hollywood Robinson? They had Hollywood Robinson, Latrell Sprewell, Bushla, Robert Horry.
Listen, I went to a game in '91 down there when they were playing, and I'm telling you, I thought Hollywood Robinson was the next Zeke Thomas, bro.
And so did he.
I don't know how it didn't pan out for him, bro. But I looked at that team and I never forget, because Arkansas played down, but they just came to the just when they were coming into the SEC. Right. I went to the game in Tuscaloosa. I'm like,
from the old Big 8. Remember the old Big 8 conference?
Yeah, with the Big 8, and I'm like, dude, like this Hollywood dude is special. Like they had Sprewell and Big Shot Bob, but he was that guy.
Right. And they had Robert, and for those that don't know, they had Robert Horry playing center.
Yep.
Latrell Sprewell was playing the 3 and the 4 for them. They had Hollywood Robinson at point and at 2, and then they had another guy playing with him. And they would at one of my favorite point guards of all time. Well, actually 2 of them. But one of my favorite point guards from that old conference is a dude named Clint McDaniel that I know people don't people it's a lot of names. You know how a lot of names get lost to history, like Sean Respert, Tony Delk. You know what I'm saying? Names that get lost to history. Clint McDaniels is one. Hollywood Robinson is one. The Rustin Rifle is one.
Yeah.
Scotty Thurman.
Scotty.
A lot of names get lost to history because that was like 30 years ago. So can you believe that was like 30 years ago? Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so we see guys nowadays doing stuff, and you're like, man, all that is that dude is just that dude's just Hollywood Robinson, bro. That's it.
Yeah, but Freeze, man. Can you imagine that dude in the backcourt with Brunson, bro?
Man, listen. You don't have to sell me on it. I've been pitching it. I was pitching it before OG Anunoby, bro.
But I'm like, people are saying, why would Why would he be available? The Knicks had the assets to make him available. And
Right.
let's be real, the Blazers are going nowhere. They're going nowhere right now. They're going nowhere.
Right.
No, they can. We got plenty of picks. We got plenty of protected picks, unprotected picks. We got seconds. We got young players. Like they got the deal, the package to make it happen.
Right.
And to me, I think that he's the caliber of a Dejounte Murray already. Not as good defensively, but the caliber of a Dejounte Murray. And that's just a name that's like you're looking at like you're still wasting away right now.
I think he's more explosive than Murray. And he's stronger. I think he's more explosive athletically than Dejounte Murray.
Yeah.
And not because Dejounte Murray wasn't explosive. I think maybe that injury may have robbed him of a little bit. But let me ask you this. What would make you think about Anfernee Simons? Are you looking for an archetype, or do you just like this player in particular?
I like the player in particular. Because he can play on or off the ball.
Right.
He's not a selfish guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not the type of scorer that goes into the game and says, okay. And I was tickled because Melo said that he found out during the conversation with Michael Jordan, Mike told him, look, if you want to average 28, just get you 8 points a quarter. Try to get you 8 a quarter. He doesn't approach the game like that. If he can switch off on the big, that's food.
Right.
He takes advantage of every mismatch that he has and every open opportunity that he has and every transition opportunity that he has. And I think he would fit seamlessly into our team. So I think it's the player specifically, and also it's the archetype, which is somebody that, like, if Brunson, like, look, man, I need a breather tonight. Okay, hang back. I'm going to run it. I'm going to find you. You shoot 50% on open threes. I'm gonna find you somebody that can take control, and also you can stagger the minutes so that we always have that on-ball creator on the floor.
Right. And so for those that don't know the archetype we're talking about, think of a pre-injury Monte Ellis, but bigger. Right. Think of a bigger version of Monte. Is it Monte Ellis, the Golden State combo guard?
Yeah, it was Monte.
Yeah. Think about a bigger, stronger version of that pre-injury. Yeah, remember Monte Ellis was an athlete that could shoot it, but before the injury, and then after the injury, he became more of a smooth scorer because of the injuries robbing some of his explosiveness. But think pre-injury, think of that pre-motorcycle. Was it motorcycle or scooter? It's one of them.
I think it was a motor scooter accident, but he was a hot flyer, bro. Before that,
he
was a hot flyer, man.
Yeah, and a good guy. When people see him when people saw him with all the tattoos and stuff, they thought he might have been from a place that he wasn't. But that man's mom was a police officer, and then his family was stalwarts in the community, right? One of the cases where I think people, you know what I'm saying, judge a book by its cover and not know the person. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's what Anfernee Simons is. If you like that archetype, I love it.
So let me give you another name, man. And people either love or hate this, right?
Okay.
I think that this is a deal that, to me, it makes sense. And people may think that he needs more time. I don't agree with that. I think he just needs more opportunity.
Oh boy, you about to blow our minds, right? Okay.
I'm here for it. I tell you what. I give you 2 guesses, right?
Okay.
Same archetype, was drafted pretty high fairly recently.
All right. When you said that just now, I immediately thought Jalen Suggs, but he can't shoot. Well, you know what? He can shoot.
He can now.
His shooting is better. His shooting is a lot better.
He can now. You couldn't at first, man.
Yeah.
You can now. That's a good guess.
So Jalen Suggs is what, but they're winning, so they're probably not going to disrupt.
Yeah, they don't come over.
Yeah. And so I have another guess.
This team definitely ain't winning.
Oh, okay. No, they wouldn't do that, bro. Nah, man. Cam Thomas.
No, not Cam. That was close.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the name. People either love it or they hate it.
Okay.
That name has been connected to us before. Is Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey.
Athleticism, check. On-ball creativity, check. Ability to play off-ball, check.
Yeah.
Superstar potential, check.
Okay. I think he's a loser, bro.
I think
he's a loser, bro.
Who is it over there? We gotta. I think Draymond said it best. Because somebody had made the comment about Devin Booker being a loser. And this was probably the year before the Warriors added talent and made the finals. And Draymond said, at some point, we got to start holding these sorry organizations
accountable. Yeah, I agree.
And I was laughing because somebody did a deep dive into the Detroit Pistons and why the organization is so toxic. And if you look at what they're doing, I think the director of pro scouting for them is somebody's son.
Troy Weaver's
who was
son.
Working in like graphic arts, like
no, the owner's. I'm sorry, the owner's son.
Yeah, like
yeah.
You have a bunch of people that are not qualified to run a professional sports organization, running a professional sports organization.
Yeah.
I am of the personal opinion that if you took a player with the talent level and physical ability of a Jaden Ivey and put him into this organization, I think that's potentially a superstar.
Okay.
I think it is. I think it is. And that's a player, and it's just my opinion, that you can acquire without having to give up a bunch of assets.
Right. Because they're
good
rebuilding.
Smart. Also good enough to be a sixth man if need be. But you probably got to give up Quentin Grimes.
Can I get him and Killian Hayes though?
You probably could. Why wouldn't they?
I would. I like Killian Hayes. I know a lot of people don't. Analytics don't, right? But I like the fact that Killian Hayes is a very unselfish offensive player that wants to play defense at a high level, but is on a team with a bunch of raw, high lottery picks that don't know how to win yet. And I think if you bring Ivey and Killian Hayes, I think Tom Thibodeau would fall backwards into the fountain of youth just to coach Killian Hayes 2 more years. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to do everything that a coach wants you to do, bro. He's going to pass the ball. He's going to do all the stuff. Now, is he going to be a star? No, you bring him here to be a role player, right? Jaden Ivey's the man. Killian Hayes is his backup, right? Killian Hayes will be the 5th guard, right? Because in theory, you're talking about Brunson and Ivey, DiVincenzo, Deuce, and Killian Hayes.
Yeah.
Right? Now the thought of Deuce and Killian Hayes together doesn't wow you offensively, but defensively?
Yeah, defensively that'd be a problem.
Yeah. And he's a legit 6'5". He ain't a fake 6'5" like Josh Hart is. You know how people say, oh, maybe he's 6'5", he's 6'4", 6'5". Nah, Killian Hayes is legit 6'5", bro. You know what I'm saying? Because they were thinking Hayes was 6'5", 6'6". And so they're like, no, Killian Hayes he's 6'5".
So
right?
This, if you call Detroit and you tell them, look, we're looking to acquire Ivey and Killian Hayes, you definitely got to.
Troy Weaver's going to tell you that Jaden Ivey is the future.
Yeah, that's what he's going to tell you.
Yeah, and we know that's a lie.
We know it's a lie because Troy's future is it's cloudy at best.
Right.
Like they're saying cloudy with thunderstorm, clouds, and lightning strikes and everything. So
Right.
he likely won't.
You know
be
what
in
you could
court.
do? You could just give them their pick back.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You can start by giving them their payback. Now, me personally, because of where I expect the Knicks to be picking, I would consider throwing in that 2024.
Just to get the deal done, Jaden Ivey?
Yeah, because I mean, first of all, you're getting a bona fide starting two guard who, to me, if you're looking at Dejounte Murray, these guys are the same archetype as Dejounte Murray. Not as good a defender, but I think Thibodeau can close the gap on that to a degree. But it's a kid that his efficiency is going up. He's not really a three-point shooter. He's capable if you leave him open, but he can create himself and teammates. He's explosive. He's above the rim. The star potential is still there.
Yeah.
So to me, he's going to be better than whatever we probably would get with that 25th pick. And the best part about it is, if Dante is a better starter, you can run him with the second unit.
Okay.
And that's another scenario where, you're restocking your young talent, because when we get ready to make these super duper star acquisitions, that team's gonna want not just picks but young talent.
Right. And so for the record, the reason why I mention it is I'm my sole focus is team building, bro. Right?
Yeah.
If you I don't care nothing about a sexy trade and all that. I don't care. You got OG Anunoby here. You ready to win? Now you need to start thinking about role players going into a championship contender. Because if you make a trade like that, say if you trade for Jaden Ivey and Killian Hayes, you can still make a trade for your Anfernee Simons and have all of them together.
Right.
Because those two guys should be cheaper, even though conventional wisdom says if you pick a guy in a lottery like that at 4, he should be expensive. Man, we just traded a guy that was the number 3 pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So it's one of those things, man, where why were you interested in Asar Thompson?
Yeah. I think Grimes and their pick back, I think that would be enough, to be honest. Like, they may want you to throw in a couple seconds, but I think that would be enough, because Grimes is I think
they did him dirty, bro.
Yeah.
They did him dirty.
I mean, it's hard for me to say, because I don't know whether the opportunity was, well, no, it's not hard for me to say. The opportunity was there. He just didn't take it. And I don't know whether he felt like, man, if I break 2 threes in a row, I'm going to get pulled out the game.
Of course. Yeah.
But I mean,
every player is not built for New York City, bro.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we have to take into account, bro. Everybody drafted is not gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Knicks fan base is a rabid fan base, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be thick-skinned to even be a Knicks content creator. You know what I'm saying? If you're not thick-skinned, bro, or imagine being a player.
Yeah. Yeah. Ain't no doubt about that, especially when you're talking about, a guy like Randle who got people going in his wife on social media.
Or at the game. At the game. At the game. Randle gave them a thumbs down, and then all of a sudden,
man, that's when I'm here broke loose.
They got their panties in the wide, bro. Come on, man.
And with that, though, that was a lot of that was people that didn't like him from the jump, bro.
Right.
They just didn't like him, man. They used that as
because they didn't get KD.
See, I told you that it wasn't built for New York. Man, if dude wasn't built for New York, he would have asked for a trade a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. But he's still here, and he said his goal is to win a championship. So I mean, like, those are 2 names that personally I would like to see the Knicks acquire, because I think Simons makes you a contender right away.
Okay.
He makes you continue this year, and the year after, and the year after, and the year after. And I think that Jaden Ivey also helps you become a contender this year. And also, if you don't go as far as you'd like to in the playoffs, he's a very valuable asset.
A very, very
Very
valuable
valuable
asset.
asset. And when
Right.
you're talking about trading for a star player, when you got a guy like that you can throw in as the centerfold of a trade, you still have a great opportunity to pick up. Because I'm gonna be honest, man, all this noise about Dejounte Murray, I'm not paying too much mind to it because of the whole clutch situation. And that just sucks, man. It sucks that we're in a position to where, because Leon Rose had beef with Rich Paul back in 2008, we're in a position to where any player that's with that agency, they're going to try to block the trade.
But agents are always gonna have beef, bro. That's the life of their business. It's trying to steal each other's clients.
The agents, bro, but the agent versus the organization, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts, bro.
Yep.
If Leon was still an agent, I get it, bro. But we got a whole agency. This is, I don't want my players going to the Knicks because y'all hurt Cam Reddish feelings. That's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
That's that. Like,
And the truth be told, they can't. Also, they just did them dirty.
Yeah.
They did. To me, I think they did Cam dirty. I think they ruined. They ruined
Scott Perry for it not working out.
I
said, then they blame Scott Perry for it not working out.
Yeah, and Scott Perry's not a basketball coach.
Yeah, that whole thing just teased me off, bro. Yeah. Like, anytime you got a player that's available, that clutch client, like, mark it off the list. Yeah. So, I mean, one way or the other, that's got to be resolved. That situation it's got to be resolved. I mean, Atlanta, y'all tried it with Dejounte Murray, it just didn't work. Like, it would be dumb for them to run it back in another year. It just didn't work. It didn't work. Move on. Get something valuable for him. You know, you got Landry Fields over there as the GM. Former Nick Landry Fields.
Yep.
Do it to solid, bro.
Right.
Do it to solid. But that's why when it comes to that trade, I'm like, until I hear about Leon Rose sitting down, which to me is absurd that an organization would have to sit down with a freaking agency, bro.
Come on, bro. Is that not ridiculous?
That's insane to me. But no matter how insane that is, until I hear that those two sat down and they kind of hashed things out, I'm not even gonna be thinking about it. Because if not for that, I'd be saying, look, Dejounte Murray gonna be a Knick after the fifth. Yeah. But I just don't know, man. Like, it's just, that's crazy to me.
Like the Cam Reddish thing, just real quick to jog your memory, make you laugh, right? The Cam Reddish thing, just really quickly, reminds me of a kid coming out of UCLA named Tracy Murray, the light-skinned dude.
I remember. I got a Tracy Murray story too, by the way. Yeah, I remember.
They were like, he's a can't-miss prospect because the shot form is immaculate, right? But you go to, but the thing is it depends on where you land as a prospect, right? And what your coach's motivations are. And Tracy Murray, to me, just like Cam Reddish, is a prospect that was ruined by a bad organization, by a bad environment, right? Right? Because if you're Portland and you draft Tracy Murray, right? Where's Tracy Murray gonna play? And y'all were just in the NBA final, like 3 weeks before that. You know,
I'm gonna tell you a funny story. So this had to be like 1990. I want to say 98. I want to say it was 19. It had to be 1998. It was when the Portland Trailblazers were in town to play the Houston Rockets, and I was with Houston. I was with my team in Houston, right? At a tournament.
Okay.
So we go to the mall. I don't know if you remember this store, but it used to be a store called Wolf's Cameras.
Okay.
And all they sold was like the very, very, very high quality
Yep.
cameras.
Yep.
So
I met a lady that worked at one in like 90. It was like 90. It might have been like 90, something like that.
Yeah, this was. I want to say this was either 98 or 97. And we walking through the mall, and we walked past Wolf Cameras, and one of my boys said, "Hey, I think that's Rasheed Wallace looking at that camera in there."
Right.
So I'm looking around. I'm like, bro, I think there's Tracy Murray over there.
Right.
So I go up, man, and I'm like, hey, Mr. Murray, man, can we get a picture? Can we get your autograph? Tracy was cool as can be. So
really,
got a picture, got an autograph, and we turn around, and I see my guy kind of arguing with Rasheed. And I'm like, time out.
Wait a minute.
I'm like, what's going on? And then Tracy's like, hey, we got to go check this out. So we walk up, and Rasheed is like, see, here come one of your homeboys right here. If I sign your autograph, then I got to sign his autograph. Then I got to sign his autograph. Then I got to sign his autograph.
Right.
And I was laughing because I was like, wow. And even Tracy Murray was like, wow, he really going there. And my buddy looked at Rasheed and said, man, N-word, you ain't Joy.
Wow.
I'll never forget that, man. But Tracy Murray was cool as can be, bro.
Right.
He was cool as can be. And he had a jump shot.
Immaculate.
His jump shot was certified, man.
It was. I didn't know.
But he went to
a bad spot.
Yeah, he went to a bad team that they had no plan.
Yeah.
Like no plan whatsoever.
Yeah, he went to a team that already had 3 wing players in front of him, right? And at the time, I think they still had Danny Ainge, and they may have still had Drazen Petrovic. There's no way that man was gonna get on the floor.
Nah, not bad.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, man. I think you are looking for an archetype, a 6'4" uber athlete bucket that can shoot the 3 and play point guard in a pinch, and has a lot to prove to the league, and is still young enough to be in that apprenticeship type stage.
Correct.
Right. So and I know that sounds like a lot just off of GP, but actually it's very simple. It's simplified. Right. It's actually pretty simple. A pretty simple thing to look at. I think if you do that trade, I think you could still get Buddy Hield though. I think you can do the Buddy Hield trade and get Anfernee Simons.
You can, but to your original point, I personally believe that it's possible for OG Anunoby to become a bona fide star. And by bona fide star, I don't mean average 30 points a game.
Right.
I mean, be a guy that instead of being a guaranteed 15 points a game, be a guaranteed 20 points a game.
Yeah.
Because, an extra, 3 to 5 points can make a huge difference in wins and losses. So I do think he can get to that point. And if he does, unless we have just two things, unless we have a random drop off from Brunson and Randle, or Randle is hurt again in the playoffs, he doesn't produce again in the playoffs, unless something like that happens, it's really more so about building the rest of the team. So it's looking at the rest of the roster and seeing, okay, what else needs to be upgraded. Right now, it's 2 things that's sticking out to me like a sore thumb. Someone that can take pressure off of Brunson in the starting lineup, because right now, after this trade, he's playing almost 40 minutes a game. That is not sustainable.
No.
That is not sustainable. If we want him to be able to walk upright when the playoffs get here, we got to get another point guard to help, or at least an on-ball player that can help. This ain't sustainable. You know,
Yeah.
40 minutes a game is not sustainable. So
No.
we gotta address that. Secondly, we don't have a backup point guard, and as much as McBride, he still doesn't have a clue
So
how to
you
run a
don't like
team.
you don't like Malachi Flynn.
I don't know what we're gonna get from him, and we've seen this front office before. Like if they're out on a person, they just out.
They just
Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if they cut him, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't, especially with them coming in with I don't know if his ankle's really hurt. I don't know, but
Right.
I mean, you know, Malachi is somebody that if you wanted to flip him, you could flip Malachi and probably a pick for Killian Hayes. You could flip him and get something useful for him, but I don't know how they view him. And we both know this front office, man. If they out on you, they out on you. Like it ain't no coming back into the rotation. Ain't none of that. If they out on you, you just done. Like you done as a Knick. Like it ain't no more playing, ain't no more developing. You just done. So I mean, we need a backup point guard because if you look at the games that we just played, not that Juice can't dribble. He can dribble.
Right.
But when guys set a screen, it's like he panics or he hesitates. He doesn't have that natural, okay, they're trying to head, so let me go this way. They're trying to ice the screen, so let me go that way. He doesn't have that. So quickly did. So that's something that's missing from the team. And when we get to the playoffs and it becomes more of a half court game and the floor strength, you're gonna need that. Like you're gonna need that. Because it's only a matter of time before teams start saying, okay, when they put McBride in, we're gonna pick him up for 94 feet.
Right.
So that's something that needs to be addressed. Hopefully Johnny Bryan can work with him and develop that because he's signed now and he can't be traded this year at all.
Right.
So we got to hope for the best with Deuce. But we need somebody to take pressure off of Brunson in the starting lineup because the good thing about Randle is he's 100% focused on playing bully ball. So he's not focused on.
Would you consider just really quick? Would you consider Grimes for Ish Smith?
I'm gonna be honest, man. Basketball wise, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense basketball wise, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. The reason it would be hard to do is because this is the same Quentin Grimes that you said, look, man, I can't include you to get this Mitchell trade done. So,
that was on principle. Now we
from principle and an optic standpoint,
right.
You can't do it. Let me tell you this though, and this is what probably require that you include draft capital because I thought about this kid, but this would also be kind of bad from optics. But Bones Highland is somebody that you can look at trying to get to fill that role.
He's buried, bro. He's buried
because he's just not playing, bro.
Right.
Like, and I'll never forgive him for shaking Kimba and pointing and laughing like that, bro. That did something to me, man. I was hurting for Kimba when he did that. But that's the kind of player that I would justify getting if they say, yeah, we're gonna trade Grimes for Bones. We're gonna give up one of the protected picks to get him. I would be okay with that because you can kind of justify that to a degree.
Right.
Not that because Ish is a champion. Every teammate that's ever played with him loves the dude.
Right.
He can fit into any locker room, but just from an optics point, it would be hard to say, yeah, I can't include you. You're too valuable for me to include in this trade to get Donovan Mitchell, and then to come back and be like, yeah, I'm gonna send you for Ish. I know it hurts. I know it makes sense because he's a great backup point guard, been in the league a long time, well respected, a veteran champion.
It'd be a parting gift for Clyde Frazier.
Right, man. Give Clyde his guy, man. But sometimes you gotta stand on business. And the same thing with this Evan Fournier contract. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot allow this contract to expire.
No, you
You
can't.
can't. You have to use it, bro.
You
Even
have
if you
to.
find a way to flip it for future protected picks, like
Bro,
you have to
we
take
got
it.
a team option this summer, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
We could pick up the team option and just run it back, do the same thing next year.
but see, but then that affects our
Do you
campaign.
want to ruin his career?
Yeah, I mean, Evan Fournier, bro, he may file a lawsuit if Knicks pull that, bro.
Yeah.
He may file a lawsuit. He may legitimately file a lawsuit if they come and say, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna make you watch for 78 out of 82 again, but we're gonna pick up your option. So if we can't find a deal for you, you may be watching for 78 out of 82 again."
Next year.
but they gotta get, even if it's a role player upgrade, man. Like they gotta get rid of it. They gotta get rid of it. Like it to me, that'd be malpractice to hold on to a dude, pay him $18 million. Which when we signed Evan Fournier, a lot of people were like, "Damn, 4 years, $78 million for this dude."
For this dude, yeah.
We paying $78 million over 4 years for a Boston reject? Like, what we doing?
Right, but you didn't just sign him. Remember, we traded for Evan
Sign and
Fournier,
trade, yeah.
a sign and trade. So you gave up 2 second-round picks, and you gave him the bag.
Yeah. To watch for him to just be a food critic in New York City.
Yeah,
you
bro.
paying him $19 million to be a food critic.
Some of this stuff you just can't make it up. You can't make up some of this stuff.
Openly revolted, bro. He openly revolted to the media. Yeah, this is probably my last game as a Knick, man. Yeah, I'm fully expected to be treated. He's still on the roster, man. So you got to stand on business. You got to get Evan out of here, bro. Like, you got to, in some kind of way. The hard part about it is you already have a coach that's kind of stringent and very, very, very strict on his rotation. So if you're trading somebody that's out of the rotation, with Tibbs, you also probably need to include somebody that's in the rotation, or it's pointless. Like if we trade Fournier for Killian Hayes, it's pointless because Tibbs is not going to say, I got this 6'5" point guard that can play shooting guard. He can defend like crazy. He can run pick and roll. He can help run his team.
He just can't shoot.
He just can't shoot the basketball.
Right.
Tibbs is not going to say, I got to keep this kid on the floor. Tibbs is going to say, well, let's see how the rotation shakes out first.
Right.
And then we have a situational player that we traded for. But the Fournier contract has got to be used. And if it's not used, and he's still here after the deadline, Leon Rose deserves every puff of smoke that people blow in his direction. You cannot let that dang on contract expire. He got to be gone. It's got to be used. Because all summer people kept telling me, don't worry, it's a valuable contract. It's basically expiring. We can use that to get a superstar trade done. Okay. So we didn't use it to get the OG trade done. We gave up Barrett and quickly to get that done.
Yeah.
So we said, and then, you got your experts, your resident CAA mouthpiece, Woj. They still have a 20-inch contract that they can use to execute a superstar trade. Okay. When?
Yeah. He an insider for a reason, bro. That's the thing. Chat. These insiders are. If you remember this thing called Watergate, a lot of us learned about it, and a lot of us. I don't remember it because when it was happening, I was a baby or a little kid, right? But basically, in Watergate, you had a government guy using the press as a mouthpiece, right? And that's basically what they're doing with Woj and all these insiders. Matter of fact, it's to a point now when these guys are talking on TV, they'll be getting text messages while they're live on TV from guys saying, no, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like this. And they'll correct them live on television, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so it's one of them things, man. It's one of them things, man. where, man, look, the Evan Fournier thing, I agree with you. And I agree with you from a human standpoint. Not about being a fan and not about business. Man, let Evan Fournier go somewhere and play basketball, bro. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? I mean, come on, bro.
Facts.
What are we proving? Right? And I know people are like, well, we cut the check every other Friday. I know, right? But how about having, enjoying where you work? A lot of us for our jobs, the money is one thing, but being in a good work environment is a thing too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so there's that, man. But
Yeah, let the guy go.
yeah,
You did right by Obi. You sent him to a team that had a point guard that actually wanted him on the team. You
yeah,
did right by RJ and quickly by sending them to a place where they both can start and play a ton of minutes.
yeah.
So, I mean, you
So
got to
just
find.
just send 28 to Dallas for Josh Green and get it over with. Just something.
Some
I don't know.
do something, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something, man.
Yeah.
Go get send him to Chicago for Torrey Craig or something like that. A defender off the bench. You know what I mean? Something, bro.
Yeah, they Evan Fournier would be a great deal to include if they because I think what it'll come down to, man, and this is because of the clutch thing. I think it'll come down to, do we want to take a swing with DeMar DeRozan, or do we just want to stand pat and then
Right.
see how this works out? Get another depth piece, see how far we can go. But if it was up to me, I'd be taking a swing. I try to get DeRozan. I try to get a big Andre Drummond too to come in and help with that 5 spot, so we're not having to play Taj.
Right.
And I would bring those two in, both expiring. The money comes off the books. You get a chance to make a run for it, and after you make a run for it, see where you stand from there.
So
But
you hadn't heard my latest favorite trade proposal then, right?
now, what is it?
It's a 4-team trade,
Oh God,
right? With all the guys that you're mentioning. So is Chicago is sending Zach LaVine to Cleveland, right? And Cleveland is sending Donovan Mitchell to Miami, right? Miami is sending Tyler Hero and Kevin Love to the Knicks, and the Knicks are sending Evan Fournier, Grimes, Jericho Sims, and necessary draft picks to complete the trade.
mm,
So in theory, everybody gets what they want. The Knicks get, and this is the sweetest part that the Knicks get is the Knicks get a big that spaces the floor behind Hartenstein.
yeah,
That'll be a free agent coming off the books. They get 3-point shooting, right? But not only do they get 3-point shooting and rebounding, they get the best outlet passing big man to have ever played the game. So now when Kevin Love gets a rebound, you can get out and run, go, right? Now in your starting lineup, you're getting a off-ball knockdown shooter,
a
and when
bucket.
Jalen and a bucket, and when Jalen Brunson goes to the bench, you have a primary facilitator on the floor with the OG Anunoby and a Randle and a Hart and a DiVincenzo. And then at times when you play Hero, DiVincenzo, okay, let me get this right. At times when you play Brunson, DiVincenzo, Hero, OG, and Hartenstein, you have 5 guys on the floor in theory that can shoot the 3. Or not Hartenstein, I'm sorry, Love. You got Love, OG, Hero, DiVincenzo, Brunson. You can, man, listen. There are so many lineups that you can run just by having a big that can rebound and shoot the 3. Right? I mean, it is to me, I think to me, it's the most outlandish trade. It'll be content, it'll be enough content for us to talk for 3 years, right? But you know what I'm saying, because you got so many moving pieces in so many different directions. But think about what we just paid in order to get a Donovan Mitchell equivalent. We're paying Fournier, Grimes, and 3 protected picks from other teams. Is that not less than what we would have paid if we would have tried to get Donovan Mitchell straight up?
Yeah, I wish that we saw more, 14 trades in the NBA. We do see 3-team trades a lot,
Yeah.
but I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of things going on with the relationships and stuff like that, but I do think that the Knicks being a contender is the worst nightmare of a lot of other teams, like a Cleveland, a Chicago. That's the last thing they want to see. Like, that's legitimately the last thing they want to see is to see the Knicks be a.
But they would get Zach LaVine under contract for such and such amount of years.
Yeah.
For 3 more years. So their backcourt would be Zach LaVine and Darius Garland.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense from a basketball perspective for sure. I think that Donovan Mitchell, man, like
in Miami with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, I read a report that Miami is probably the biggest threat to trade for him now because they were saying New York has pretty much kind of moved on from that. After the OG trade, it's like they kind of moved on from it and they're looking for something a little bit different now, which kind of sucks because that was the one guy that wanted to come there. You know what I'm saying? So, but in that scenario, yeah, everybody gets what they really need on the team, and it's a win-win
for everybody involved.
Yeah,
because Fournier goes to Chicago where he can play. Grimes goes to Chicago where he could probably beat out Ayo Dosunmu and they can have a Grimes and Cody White backcourt, one of the taller backcourts in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Grimes is useless in the league, man. I think he can play some places. I do think that Leon Rose does consider the destination when trading players.
Yeah,
I don't think he would send. I don't think he would send Grimes to a Sacramento where he has absolutely no shot as seeing the floor. So, I mean, it is important because if you have that reputation that, look, the Knicks may trade you, but best believe if they trade you, you're going to probably be in even a better position than you were before they traded you. So, and that kind of goes to something we talked about offline with the Julius Randle and Karl Anthony Towns thing. Yeah. And I know everybody's going to say it makes absolutely zero sense to trade Randle for Karl Anthony Towns. And I agree. In terms of this year, I 100% agree. It makes no sense. But if the Knicks are not going to be willing to commit, because Randall's this is going to be his 3rd time making All-Star and All-NBA. So do we know what that means? That means he's eligible for a super max.
Jaylen Brown money, everybody.
He's unless he just falls off the cliff, he's gonna make All-NBA for the 3rd time, people.
Yeah.
For the 3rd time in the last 4 years, meaning he's gonna be eligible for a super max extension.
At the veteran years. See, he's got more years than Jaylen Brown.
Exactly. He's past the 9 years. So he is going to be eligible for $300 million.
Yeah.
So all people thinking that he's gonna re-up for that 100.
They think Randall gonna take $29 million? No.
Think he's gonna take a $200 million contract?
No.
Ain't no way. So and I do believe Julius has become a better player than Cat.
Yeah.
I would not be a proponent in saying that you get an equal value if you swap the two, but I will say
right now he's the 2nd best power forward in the game, period.
In the league, behind Giannis, point blank.
Yeah.
Point blank. Yeah. So I can't take that away from him, but I'm just looking ahead and saying that if they're not sure, they're gonna be willing to pay him between $250 and $300 million.
Yeah.
At age 31, 32. then the trade makes more sense.
Yep.
The trade makes more sense. So that's just one thing to think about. I think they're going to give him an opportunity to show what he can do in the playoffs. But if we get to the playoffs and Randle does not show up,
he gone.
By July 31st, Anfernee will be a Knick.
Yeah.
He will be a Knick. And Randle will be gone.
And you know how we know this is true, chat? All the people that choked in the playoffs for the Knicks this spring are all gone.
They gone.
Obi, remember Obi choked at the free throw line? Up there looking all nervous, like he about to go on punishment.
Gone.
He gone. IQ gone. RJ gone. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I mean, the only two that I think will be 100% safe is Jalen and OG. So
that's it.
I'm being honest. Like if Minnesota comes today and say, "Hey, we'll do cap around on 48," you don't want to consider it because
what do you do with Hartenstein? Are you gonna bring Cat here to play center or power forward?
He'll be the four. He's doing it with Rudy right now, so I think he'd be okay at the four.
I'm not.
But if they're calling, no, I wouldn't do it either. But you have to at least consider it based on what's coming down the pipe. But again, I think they'll give Randle an opportunity to play in the playoffs, and if he shows up, they're gonna sign him to the Supermax or whatever it takes. If he doesn't, he's out of here.
Well, all right, boss. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna get out here in this yard, do some work. You know, we live down in the country now, so
I got leaves all over my yard. Y'all probably don't, but I'm
gonna tell you the truth. I can't see no grass, bro. My yard is right now. I told my little old neighbor who's 81 with the riding lawnmower, she got out there a month ago and told me she was gonna get her leaves up and munch them up. And I said, they're gonna be right back down tomorrow. And she was out there for a good hour and a half. No. And sure enough, they were right back down there tomorrow. Yeah. But now the trees are bare, so it's time.
Yeah. Well, all right, brother. I appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Always fun, man.
Chat, thank y'all for coming through and rocking with us. Chat, this has been the Big Boss Man Roundtable Special Edition. Thank y'all for rocking. We out of here, y'all. Peace.